Hello and welcome back to The Rate We Hike. My name is Mike Shanley, financial advisor for Walnut Peak Financial Consulting, and we will not be changing the name of the channel because the Fed stopped hiking rates. I love a good double entendre as much as the next guy. I think the Fed will probably go back to hiking rates. But this is more about our personal journeys and the individual paces that we all move at on our journey through life, our financial journeys, our individual goals, and how we pursue those. So we're keeping it. We're keeping it. So today we are talking about couples, partners, and how they manage their finances together. I've been married for about 2 months, so I got it under control. I wanted to just quickly touch on my last video. We talked about financial anxiety, financial stress. It's a lot when you are dealing with it on your own. And then when you add in a relationship, especially your partner, it certainly gets a lot harder. It has the ability to break a person. It certainly has the ability to break a relationship. It can break a whole family. I think if you bring it up to somebody that has a family that's been broken by it or a relationship that's been broken by it, it's just a general, we had like money issues. We couldn't resolve money issues. We had too much debt. One person spent too much money. And then I think you have to probably peel that onion back a little bit more because there's usually a lot more to it. Believe it or not, you'll probably believe it. Money is the most taboo subject that people can talk about. People would rather talk about intimate details than they would rather talk about money because money reveals more about people than anything else does. It's an identity revealer to people. It tells you a lot about what they have or what they don't have and the lifestyle that they live or don't live. According to them, in their own head, that's what it tells them. I mean, you could have a ton of money and live in a shed. Or you can have no money and live in debt. So it doesn't tell you anything about anyone. It's all mental. It's a mental situation. So it can be really confusing, and you can go through a whole courtship of a relationship, never reveal to your partner anything that's going on behind the scenes with your finances. Then you get into the relationship and the finances get revealed because they're now all of a sudden combined. I referenced Olga Kurylenko. She was a psychoanalyst. I referenced her in the last video that I did. And, you know, her takeaways from financial strain and financial stress in relationships is that it's not the money, which, you know, I alluded to a minute ago. It reveals, you know, underlying issues that couples have, which is they have an inability to communicate, at least on the money issue. But it usually reveals they can't communicate. It usually reveals that they cannot problem solve, and she uses the term financial infidelity. So whether you want to chalk that up to a full-on, you know, lie, perhaps you want to do that. But those are the things that she comes to the conclusion that those are the actual reasons that people, you know, turn around and say, this is where we're coming to conflict. So how do you resolve those issues, or how do you not have those issues? It has to be clear communication, there has to be sacrifice, there has to be common goals, and the partners have to be on the same page. You have to sit down, both people have to know the ins and outs of all the finances. I consistently talk to people all the time. My partner handles that. My partner handles the finances. That's not necessarily the wrong answer, but the other partner has to be involved at least a couple times a year in taking a look at how the finances are taken care of and what the finances look like. If the person who handles the money thinks they are doing a great service to the family by keeping everything on track, they're actually handicapping the other spouse. A couple things can happen. One, obviously you can have the divorce. The poor person who's not handling the finances now maybe has forgotten how to budget. They've forgotten how to manage their finances. But the other possibilities are one spouse unfortunately passes away. You could have a spouse that becomes incapacitated or just incredibly sick. And so when those things come up, you've now handicapped your other spouse, and you've now handicapped the family because the spouse who has not been taking care of the finances is now ill-equipped to confidently and capably handle the finances. So it's very important that both people are involved, at least, relatively, so that the second spouse does not become rusty, for lack of a better word. To break it down a little further and how we can come to breaking down how I would tell clients my suggestion on how you should handle finances. I guess there's no one best way to do it. This is my suggestion. First and foremost, you should know what states you live in, because there's community and marital property rules in certain states. When you inherit money or you're gifted money, it does not become property of the other person until you combine it into a joint account. You should know these types of things because it's not necessary that you move money if you don't have to. You should know that. Once you get past all of that, you need to find out what your bills are. There is a 50-30-20 rule, 50%. You should not be spending more than 50% of your post-tax income on bills, on necessities. 50% goes to necessities. Have to figure that out. 30% of after tax, all yours. Have at it. 20% needs to go to savings. My caveat is I would say 15% should be pre-tax. So if you can allocate 15% pre-tax, between the two spouses to, 401ks and, IRAs and things of that nature, that would be great. But figure out a way to save 15%. You can have some in cash, in savings, your rainy day fund, Roth IRAs, but 20% should be going to savings in some capacity. How do the accounts get split up? I recommend joint checking and savings accounts for the couple, then checking and savings accounts for individuals. You need common goals for paying off the bills so you can hold each other responsible. Same with savings. You need common saving goals. A new refrigerator, a new car, you want a new deck, things of that. Then on the other side, again, keeping you so you're both not rusty and making sure that you are trying to reach your own attainable goals and save for things that are important to you. You want to buy yourself a new watch. You want to buy yourself a new bike, some new skis. Things like that are cool little notches in your belt to save for. You want to go to dinner with the girls? Have at it. So those are, important things. The other thing is, if you're in a marriage and it's been years, it might be nice to add in a little bit of surprise into your marriage. And when you can see everything that the other person is buying, you might lose an element of that. It might be nice to have an account that your spouse can't see so that you can buy surprise gifts every once in a while, and your spouse isn't asking you what you spent $1,000 on at JetBlue because you bought a surprise trip to Naples for a weekend. I don't know, but you get the idea. So those are some thoughts and ideas. I hope you took something positive away from this, but obviously please feel free to reach out, schedule time. It's always helpful to have a mediator and somebody else to set budgets, set bills, keep you accountable, and obviously make sure that that 20% of investments and savings is going to the right place and being invested properly. Please click on the notification bell, click on the subscribe button, take a look at the links below for LinkedIn, Facebook, and my website, and I look forward to connecting with you all very soon. Thanks so much. We'll see you soon.